Hey gang, welcome back. Appreciate it. Hope you're going to have a good time tonight and read the second installment to Star Wars, the original series, the first books of the comics. Now today we're taking a little break because we're going to be celebrating Sithgiving coming up this week. And because of that, we want to take a moment and let you hear a word from our sponsors. In fact, for this week for Sithgiving, Galaxy Groceries is offering a 12-pound Porg for only 12 galactic credits. It's crazy. It's amazing how much the Empire does for us. I mean, to provide such a fabulous meal. I hope you guys out there are going to eat your Porg too and spend time with your friends and your family and your clone relatives. So now that we've done that, let's go back to the comic. Star Wars. Number 2. Look at that. There's Obi-Wan Kenobi. And there's Luke. And see, I don't understand. This scene is not actually in the books. It doesn't happen. The Rebels are always trying to make themselves look better. So why don't we begin? And we will start with Stan Lee Presents Star Wars, the greatest space fantasy of all. Roy Thomas, scripter, editor. Howard Chaykin, illustrator, great artist. Steve Loyola, the colorist. Tom Orzechowski, the letterer. 6 against the Galaxy. Galaxy's gonna win. Luke Skywalker, youthful farmer on the yellow planet Tatooine, has been overcome by the sinister Sand People. I told you, these guys were pretty... At the last moment, not even bothering to kill him, the desert-dwelling raiders turn their attention to Luke's land speeder, when suddenly, as a great howling moan echoes eerily through the canyon, the Sand People abruptly, they're ransacking. Oh, there's Luke. Remember, I told you he should have worn a helmet? He wouldn't have been loud like that. He doesn't listen. To flee in obvious terror as if before some horrible monster. But to the little android R2-D2, the approaching figure is hardly monstrous. Bleep! Never going to figure out what he's saying. I don't know how others do it. Maybe you guys can tell me. But only a man, his ancient leathery face crackled up and withered by exotic climates. Don't worry, little android. He'll be all right. What happened, Ben? Ben Kenobi? I'm glad to see you. What brings you out this far, Luke? That droid over there, he claims to be the property of someone called Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long while. Most curious. I think my uncle knew him. He says he's dead. Oh, he's not dead yet. Not yet. He's me. But I haven't gone by that name Obi-Wan since before you were born. And this droid does belong to you, as it claims. Can't remember ever owning a droid. Bleep, bleep. Most interesting. But we'd best get inside before the Sand People return in greater numbers. All right, but I 3PO, where's my Uncle Other's droid? Aided by the electronic whistles and beeps of little R2, young Luke swiftly finds a very dented and tangled C-3PO lying half buried in the sand, one arm broken off. Where am I? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I must have taken a bad step. Quickly, son. They're on the move. Soon in Ben Kenobi's small but homey hovel. Now, little friend, let's see if we can't find what you are and where you came from. I saw part of a holographic message that I seem to have found it. General Obi-Wan Kenobi. I present myself in the name of my father, Bail Antilles, Viceroy of Alderaan. Information vital to the survival of the Rebel Alliance has been placed in this droid. Years ago, Commander, you served the old Republic in the Clone Wars. I'll get you up to speed on it, but that's where we want. Now my father begs you to aid us again in our most desperate hour. My mission to you has failed, and I shall be captured. Please see this R2 unit delivered safely to Alderaan. You are our last hope. Whoever she is, she's terrific. She called you commander. You fought in the Clone Wars? Oh yes, I was once a Jedi Knight, just like your father. Jedi Knight? My father was just a navigator on a spice freighter. So your uncle told you. Your Uncle Owen didn't agree with your father's ideas. Thought he should have stayed here on Tatooine and not gotten involved. He was always afraid your father's adventures might influence you. I wish I'd known my father. That reminds me, I have something here for you. Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough. What is it? Touch the brightly colored button up there by the pommel, and you'll see. Just don't point it to your eyes, kid. Trust me. At the press of a button, a meter-long beam of brilliant, intense light appears. Your father's lightsaber, the formal weapon of the Jedi Knight. The Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. And how did my father die, Ben? He was betrayed and murdered by a young Jedi named Darth Vader. A boy I was training, one of the brightest disciples, my greatest failure. Darth Vader used the power of the Force for evil, to help the Empire hunt down and destroy the last of the Jedi Knights. Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force, and it consumed him. The Force? Oh, religion, nothing. The Force is an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds, binds the galaxy together. Knowledge of the Force is what gave a Jedi Knight his power. You must learn the ways of the Force, Luke. If you're to come with me to Alderaan... what? Alderaan? I'm not going to Alderaan. I gotta get back home. I need your help, Luke. I'm afraid I'm getting too old for this sort of thing. Sorry, but I can't get involved. I mean, I hate the Empire and all, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's all such a long way from here. That's your father, your uncle talking. Remember, the Force is with all men, binding them together. The suffering of one is the suffering of all. I can take you as far as Anchorhead. You can get a transport from there to wherever you're going. You must do what you feel, Luke. Right now, I don't feel too good. Meanwhile, aboard the Empire, battle station known as the Death Star, still gives me nightmares. Darth Vader. Now, Your Highness, we will discuss the location of the hidden rebel base. There's the boss man. As the cell door slides electronically shut, the fearful screams of Princess Leia are scarcely heard in the corridor outside. Yeah, cry. While on Tatooine, look, Ben, there's what's left of the Jawa sandcrawler that stopped by Uncle Owen's place yesterday. All the Jawa's dead. Looks like the sand people did it. All right. There's bantha tracks and part of those gaffy sticks. But we never heard them hitting something this big. They didn't, Luke, but we were meant to think so. Look at these blast points. Only Imperial stormtroopers are this precise. Yeah, we're marksmen, sharpshooters. We never miss. These are the same Jawas who sold us R2 and 3PO. The troopers must have been looking for R2 because of the princess's message. If they tracked the robots to the Jawas, they may have learned who they sold them to. And that will lead them back home. Wait, Luke, it's too dangerous. I think he's taking off. But the next moment, Ben Kenobi is left alone with two silent droids. Woo-hoo-hoo. And before long, Luke is running wildly towards the smoking holes that were once his home. Aunt Beru, Uncle Ben! No! And then he suddenly sees two smoldering piles which had once been human beings. No! Teach you to mess with the Empire. Meanwhile, the Grand Moff Tarkin, regional governor of this portion of space, has joined Darth Vader and others before a screen which illuminates the many starred face of the galaxy. All systems are operational at last. What course shall we set, Lord Vader? Our Senator Princess resistance to the mind probe is considerable, Admiral Mokti. Thus, it will still be some time before we can extract any useful information from her. Perhaps Princess Leia would respond to an alternative form of persuasion. What do you mean, Governor? I think it is time we demonstrated the full power of this battle station. Set your course for Alderaan. The bonfire of dead Jawas is still burning brightly when Luke returns to Ben and the robots. I share your sorrow, Luke. Still, the Force is with you. But your aunt and uncle aren't. If you had been there, you would now be dead, and the droids in the hands of the Empire. Ben, I want you to go with you to Alderaan. There's nothing here for me now. I want to learn the ways of the Force, to become a Jedi, like my father. Later, the speeder jumps to a halt in Mos Eisley Spaceport. Well, here it is, lad. You won't find a more wretched hive of villainy. Unless they're in the Congress. Uh-oh. Here comes Imperial troopers. You know how long you've had these droids? Do you come from the South? Let us see your identification. Yes, all right. Abruptly, Ben Kenobi interrupts in a strangely controlled voice. You don't need to see his identification. We don't need to see his identification. He can go about his business. These aren't the droids you're looking for. These aren't the droids we're looking for. He can go about his business. I can't understand how we got by those troopers. I thought we were dead. The Force is a strong influence on the mind, a powerful ally. Though you will discover it can also be a danger. Do you really think we can find a pilot who will take us to Alderaan in this cantina? Most of the good freighter pilots frequent here, but watch your step. This place can be a little rough. Within moments, young Luke finds what he meant. I have no idea what he's saying. I need a translator. He doesn't like you. I'm sorry. I don't like you either. I'm afraid I still don't insult us. We have the death sentence on 12 systems. Gentlemen, this little one isn't worth the effort. Come, let me buy you a drink. Oh, oof. Okay, so it looks like Ben's got his lightsaber out. Then as the bad-tempered alien draws a pistol, and while the bartender is still yelling, "No blasters," Ben's own lightsaber comes to life. And a wide-eyed Luke Skywalker is abruptly reminded that old Ben Kenobi was once Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Jedi Knight. Only when the two aggressors lie in sections on the floor does the old man's body appear to relax, or the suggestion of a sigh escape him. In a mixed state of shock and admiration, Luke Skywalker stands speechless. Then, with shuffling and many-tongued muttering, the cantina returns to its former state. Save that Ben Kenobi is given a respectful amount of space at the bar. The whole affair has lasted only a few seconds. Then, as if nothing happens, Ben speaks. Luke, this is Chewbacca. He's a Wookiee. Luke has heard about Wookiees, but he never expected to see one, let alone meet one. Despite a comical quasi-monkey face, the 7-foot anthropod is anything but gentle-looking, nor does its deep-throated, unintelligible response ease Luke's mind. Grah. Neither do Ben Kenobi's next words. He's first mate on a ship that might suit our needs. That's wonderful. While outside in the street, what could be taking them so long? Look, here comes a patron out of the cantina. Beep. Now he's approaching these two Imperial troopers. I don't like the looks of this, R2. Inside, the giant Wookiee escorts Ben and Luke to a secluded corner. You're pretty handy with that saber, old man. I'm Han Solo, captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie tells me you're looking for a passage to the Alderaan system. If it's a fast ship. Fast ship? You mean you've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? Should I? It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. I've outrun Imperial starships. Not the local bolt cruisers, mind you. It's either the big Corellian ships I'm talking about. I think she's fast enough for you, old man. What's the cargo? Just myself, the boy, and 2 droids with no questions. No questions. Local trouble. Let's just say we'd like to avoid any Imperial entanglements. These days, that can be a real trick. 10,000 in advance. 10,000? We could almost buy our own ship for that. But could you fly it, kid? You bet I could. I'm not such a bad pilot myself. I don't... Easy, Luke. We haven't that much with us. But we could pay you 2,000 now, plus another 15 when we reach Alderaan. That's 17,000. All right. Docking Bay 94. We can take off as soon as you are ready. Hey! It's my brothers. Looks like someone's taking a look at your handicraft, old man. Moving to the bar, the Imperial troopers ask the nervous bartender a few brief questions. The bartender hesitates, but a man in his position can't afford trouble with the Empire. He points out a booth near the back of the room. But no one is sitting there, but a space pilot, obviously one who does not possess a lightsaber, and a huge, stoic Wookiee. The bartender shrugs his shoulders. I'm afraid you'll have to sell your speeder, Luke. It's all right. I don't think I'll ever come back to this planet anyway. Meanwhile, the Imperial troopers have wandered on, but just as Han Solo starts to slide from his booth, going somewhere, Solo? Matter of fact, I was just going to see your boss. Tell Jabba I have his money. That's what you said yesterday. Now it's too late. But I've really got the money this time. Then hand it over. I haven't got it on me. That's Greedo. He was bounty hunter. Not as good as our dad. You tell Jabba. Jabba would rather have your ship, I think, over my dead body. That's the idea, Solo. Now, will you come outside with me, or must I finish it? Uh-oh. Yeah. Dad, Boba Fett. We would have never happened to one of them. Sorry for the mess. As in a sleazy used speeder lot, he says that price is the best he can do. Since the XP-38 came out, this kind of just isn't in demand. It will be sufficient. I have enough to cover the rest. Come, lad. Ben and Luke do not see the darkly clad creature which moves out of the shadows as they pass. You see him in the corner there? You see him? And watches him intently as they disappear down still another alleyway. At that moment, at Docking Bay 94, come on out, Solo. I've been waiting for you. Jabba. Han, my boy, there are times when you disappoint me. Why haven't you paid me? And why did you have to fry poor Greedo like that, after all we've been through together? Jabba, the next time you got something to say to me, don't send one of your blaster-happy twerps. Come see me yourself. Han, if only you hadn't dumped that shipment of spice. Where would I be if every pilot who smuggles from me dumped his shipment at the first sign of an Imperial starship? It's not good business. You know, even I get boarded sometimes, Jabba. I had no choice. But I've got a charter now and can pay you back plus a little extra. I just need some more time. Put your blasters away, men. Han, my boy, I'm only doing this because you're the best and I need you. But if you disappoint me again, I'll put a price on your head so large that you won't be able to go near a civilized system again for the rest of your life. I'll pay you, Jabba, but not because you threaten me. I'll pay you because it's my pleasure. While on the ominous Death Star, we've started to search the Mos Eisley spaceport, Lord Vader. It's just a matter of time before we find the droids. Send in more men if you have to. It's her hope of that data being used against us that enables Princess Leia to resist the mind probe. When she knows it has been destroyed, once and for all, she'll break. At that very moment, back on Tatooine, young Luke Skywalker is voicing his first opinion of the Millennium Falcon. What a piece of junk. This ship couldn't possibly go above sub-light speeds. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts. I've added some special modifications myself. She'll make 0.5 beyond light speed, and, oh, we're a little rushed. So if you folks don't mind hurrying aboard, you can see the blasters going back and forth. We'll be off. Get us out of here, Chewie. Deflector shield, quick. Almost the next moment, the motley denizens of Mos Eisley look up and murmur among themselves in a multitude of inhuman languages. It would appear the Millennium Falcon is off for another run. Yet, almost as quickly as they can be noticed on Solo's radar scope, a trio of Imperial Star Destroyers appear, as if from nowhere. Our passengers must be hotter than I thought, Chewie. Giant starships, which through still far in the distance are fully 100 times the size of the Millennium Falcon, with a firepower which dwarfs the smaller ships nearly to the point of infinitesimal. Stay sharp. 2 of them are trying to cut us off. Can't you outrun them? I thought you said this thing was fast. Watch your mouth, kid, or you'll find yourself floating home. We'll be safe enough once we made the jump into hyperspace. Plus, I know a few maneuvers that should lose them. Just then, the entire spacecraft shudders as blinding explosions flash just outside the viewpoints. And even a near miss almost overcomes the phototrophic shielding. Here's where it starts getting interesting. Well, how long before you can make the jump to light speed? It will take a few minutes for the navigation computer to calculate the coordinates. A few minutes, at that rate, they're gaining. Traveling through hyperspace isn't like dusting crops, boy. Without the proper calculations, we could pass right through a star or bounce to near a supernova. And that would end our little trip real quick. What's that? We're losing the deflector shield. Strap yourselves in. We're ready to make the jump to light speed. At that instant, the ship rocks violently as 3PO holds onto his seat for dear robotic life. And R2 sways to the fro under the thundering impact of the incoming laser blast. Beep, 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 beep. Was this trip really necessary? I forgot how much I hate space travel. On the next issue of Out of Hyperspace and Into the Death Star. Well, that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again on Wednesday right before Sithgiving. Make sure to go out and get some Porg for you, and enjoy it. Makes you strong. Take care. Happy Sithgiving.